Hey everyone, Blockchain Bernie here with my latest episode, broadcasting live from fabulous Las Vegas. Man, has this been a day for crypto, and it's all being driven by that great news, that win in court for Ripple XRP not being considered a security when it's being sold on crypto exchanges. That is a great win, not only for Ripple. Ripple doubled today almost, but also for many other cryptocurrencies, especially altcoins. So let's have a brief look here on how things look like. Look at Bitcoin here, 24 hours plus 4.6%. Then we have Ethereum lagging a little bit behind the others. And then I post a lot about Solana. Look at Solana here, 20% in the last 24 hours, right? So we're at 26, and a month ago we were at $14.35. That is kind of crazy. And yeah, so that was the day today. But hey, the subject of this video is the Messari report about Solana. So let's jump into that one. Here we go. And the state of Solana, second quarter 2023. It's been just released. And, I went into it and I give you my little summary so that you don't have to, right? So Solana's market cap declined. Well, that is from the end of the second quarter, June 30th, right? So today we have a whole new picture, right? So this is for the second quarter of 2023. So market cap declined. I don't think it did if we look at the market cap today, right? And staking on the network was stable. That's awesome. So we run the Bitoku Validator. So if you don't know what that is, link is in the description, so you can stake your Sol on our validator. It's one of the best performing validators, by the way. It's called Bitoku, Bitoku. And then the Solana Foundation launched state compression, which is being used for NFT compression, which is a great stuff. We have a primer on Solana here, and we have some key metrics here. So with the performance, we actually see some great performance data here. And so we have the circulating market cap from Q2 to Q3. Was rising a little bit. That's because of the staking rewards, right? And after a turbulent 2022, the crypto market rebounded in January 2023. So what we see here is the market cap decreased. So we had that already. And then 40% of daily fees were priority fees through Q2. So with those priority fees, that's a very interesting concept. In the past, we had a few outages of Solana, right? And that was because bots were spamming the network, and they were trying to get in first to get the NFT from some NFT drop or stuff like that. And there was little cost for them to spam the network with transactions because the transaction fees are so low on Solana, right? So now people can choose to pay more so that their transaction will get through, because that was the big issue with these outages. You couldn't get through, right? So you wanted to close your position or, get out of some contract, some lending contract and stuff, and you couldn't because the network was spammed, right? Now you can, because you can voluntarily pay more, and these are local fee markets, right? So that is awesome with Solana. It's not like it's, more expensive for anyone. It's just for that little application that's minting those NFTs that everyone wants to have. And then only there, the fees rise slightly so that you can get your transaction through. So that is actually a super cool innovation. And it's already been incorporated into these Solana wallets, and it's a great thing to use. And you see 40% of these daily fees were priority fees, right? So when there is something that has super high volume, people pay higher fees, and that makes up 40% of the total daily fees. Well, that is crazy. So that means these localized fee markets that Solana came up with, they have been a great success. And yeah, unique fee payers spiked in May, but then reverted to daily averages. So the network growth is like, it's normal. It's not like people run away from Solana. They all stay. They're not going anywhere, but right now is not a time of crazy growth in unique wallets that are being used. Daily transactions trended upward and remained stable through Q2. So yeah, everyone's still using Solana, and we always have like a few thousand transactions that are vote transactions, and not all other blockchains have these vote transactions, right? That's kind of unique to Solana. All the voting, like, is this a block that we all agree on, right? All validators, those are normal transactions on the blockchain in Solana. So we have a few thousand per second anyway, right? And then we have the kind of payload transactions, right? And we always have like at least 200, 300 a second, sometimes 500, sometimes 1,000, over 1,000 payload transactions per second. And that is not capacity that the network could potentially do. That is, state of the network. It is happening each and every second, right? So Solana is a network that is heavily being used by users, right? And it's staying like that. So staking and decentralization overview. So Solana still has one of the highest Nakamoto coefficients, and the Nakamoto coefficient is just saying how many parties would you need to collude in order to break the system. And it is quite high, and is one of the highest in the industry. And the Nakamoto coefficient is an important measure of decentralization, but obviously not all. So there are other metrics that are important to measure decentralization, but the Nakamoto coefficient is a very important one. And also by the other measurements, Solana is actually one of the most decentralized blockchain networks that is out there. And I'm still reading so many comments out there of people that think like, it's so fast, it has to be centralized, right? So there are other chains that are fast because they compromised on decentralization. Yeah, and the best example of that is BSC, right? The Binance Smart Chain. They only have like a few hundred validators or so, and they used to have like even 20 or 30, 50 back in the day, and that's why that chain is fast and cheap, right? But it's a heavy compromise on centralization there, but not so on Solana. They have a different innovation, and that's called proof of history. So I can only recommend read up about proof of history on Solana. It's a great innovation, and that makes it really fast and cheap without having to sacrifice on decentralization. All right, ecosystem growth strategy. So there are grants out there by the Solana Foundation. The Grizzlython was the last hackathon in January. DeFi, DeFi in general on all chains is a little bit on the decline. And it seems like, like a year ago, 2 years ago, there were DeFi platforms out there that were just enticing people with crazy high yields and stuff like that, right? And everyone wanted to get in. And at some point, it was clear that these yields were not sustainable and stuff like that. So people went out again, right? So, and now, DeFi is up for renewal, right? All those DeFi companies, they have to find what's called PMF, right? PMF means a product market fit. So they have to find a platform, a DeFi platform that people actually want to use, be it in lending, in trading, in, perpetuals and stuff like that. So That's a general trend, not only in Solana, but you see it here, right? DeFi is, you know, if you look at it from the big picture in a downtrend, but it's also coming back again, just as crypto prices have been slowly coming back in the past few months. Liquid staking declined a little bit. Ethereum is the leader on liquid staking, so they do a lot there. So you can stake your tokens, Sol or ETH in the case of Ethereum, and then you get another token back that kind of certifies that you've staked your Sol. For example, you get a Marinade token back, and then you can use that in DeFi, or you can even swap it back to Solana and stuff like that. And that's quite of a cool concept, but it also has its risks, especially if you run that loop, right? And then stake and then get your staking token and then swap it back to Sol and then stake it again, right? And that gives you a little bit more yield, but it also increases your risk like crazy. So I would not really recommend anyone doing that. So yeah, liquid staking declined a little bit, and Marinade is the leader on Solana for liquid staking. We had a healthy distribution of total value locked through Q2, yeah, they list the hackathon winners here. NFTs is still a big thing for Solana, and with their new compression technology, which is a little bit of a misnomer, right? It's not you cannot compress an image of, 2 megabytes into, just 20 bytes or so, right? It's not really compression in the sense that all you need is that compressed thing, and then you can blow it back up without anything else, right? It's just like you only store what's called the Merkle root of these things, and stuff is packaged in the blockchain. But it's not really compression, right? But still, this thing helps companies minting millions and millions, hundreds of millions of NFTs, right? And that's important for consumer-facing companies, consumer brands, right? They want to mint hundreds of millions of NFTs, and then it makes a big difference whether it costs like 1 cent per mint, or does it cost like 1/100 of a cent per mint, right? And with that compression, the cost has been going really down, and I think the future for Solana for NFTs looks really great. Same thing with GameFi. I think Solana is absolutely a great chain for anything gaming, because you need fast confirmation times, you need low fees, and all these kind of things, right? So yeah, this is the overview, and we see the development activity has stabilized at around 29K per month. That's the active programs, and we're using also a program on Solana, and that's called, you see that name Xandeum up here, so that's my company. Full disclosure, we're building a fork of Solana that has a storage layer, and that storage layer is needed for Web3. So we're super excited about that. And in order to get our business funded, we are selling nodes, licenses to run a node, a validator node in that future Xandeum chain. And the thing is that right now you can still get in and buy these licenses. And if you do that before our big launch event on July 30th. So first of all, the launch event is super important. There will be great offers there. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also like this video if you like it, and I really appreciate that. It's really important. But stay up to date with the launch event. So subscribe to this channel. And what you get if you buy a node before the launch event is our great NFT here, the Bitoku Early Node Owners NFT. That will give you lots of benefits later on in the Xandeum network. So yeah, make sure to check that out, Xandeum.com. All the links are in the description. Okay, so back to the Solana report. Qualitative analysis, you see that all in here. Technical developments. So, and I'm part of that. Also, you know, we run that Solana validator ourselves. About one of the best performing Solana validators, by the way. So we've been #1 on their list out of, you know, 2,500 validators. We've been #1 now for months, which is really awesome. And through that activity, we are really experiencing here what's going on in the Solana network, what features are in there in each of the next version, and they had turbine improvements to mitigate that you know, unfortunate outage that was there earlier this year. So and we're on the 1.14 release right now, and yeah, there's a lot of things. Solana Mobile, the Saga phone has been coming out. I got mine, and I really love it. Yeah, and they have a plugin for ChatGPT to bring together a Solana and AI. And the Brave browser is now supporting the Solana name service and all these kind of things. So really great things are going on here. The ecosystem challenges. So that was the lawsuit, the SEC suing Binance and Coinbase, and then the SEC claiming that selling some of these currencies like ETH or SOL on these exchanges comprises an investment contract, so it would be subject to regulation and registration, which they didn't do. And this is all crazy stuff, and you know, if that holds before in court, it will have, you know, huge implications, not nice implications for crypto, for the, you know, for the United States as you know, as a country to host these crypto companies and everything. And luckily today we had an important win, and in the case of Ripple, it was ruled by the District Court of Southern District of New York that, you know, selling Ripple through these centralized exchanges is not an investment contract, right? And that was what made a Ripple, you know, go up almost double today, and also it made Solana go up by 20% today, and also almost double over the last months, and that is definitely a reason for celebration. Yeah. All right. Good. So that was my little overview for you guys, and as always, stay up to date. Thanks for watching, and catch you guys later. Bye.